right now. I'm just doing the economic calendar with you guys, and then we'll break down the charts. So again, we just went over Monday. Moving into Tuesday over here, you got Waller and Messer speaking from FOMC. So a lot of yellow folder events, not much going on Monday and Tuesday, right? Moving into Wednesday now, you got CPI. So we have some inflation numbers coming out. We have OPEC meetings coming. We have Lagarde speaking as well. So maybe we get some further volume coming in. You have current account, Bank of Japan, summary of opinions later on in the Asian session over here. So this should be interesting with what we get in terms of numbers from Japan, because as you know, the Japanese yen has just been tanking as of late. So this is pretty interesting for what we have going on. This is going to be the main point on Wednesday, and we'll be all together anyway. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have CPI coming out. So inflation numbers, we'll see where we're at over here. Looking at Thursday, we have prelim GDP, which is basically like this right here is going to be like the only data coming out of Great Britain this week. As I was just talking to you guys about, Great Britain's economy has been struggling pretty bad with inflation, stagflation, not much going on over there with their economic growth. But we'll see what prelim GDP comes out. We'll see what a lot of these numbers come out as. But moving into later in the morning, you have unemployment claims, PPI, and core PPI coming out as well. Purchasing numbers over here. So we'll see what we get on Thursday. Moving into Friday, University of Michigan consumer sentiment, inflation expectations, and FOMC member Messer speaking again later on Friday. So that's what we got for the economic calendar. Not that much going on over here, but at the same time, maybe we'll be able to break out of some of these ranges that we've been sitting in on a lot of our pairs over here. So again, looking at GJ, breaking the multi-year downtrend over here, been in recovery since COVID, right? Holding 128 as a nice support over here. Price has just been pushing up, right? We consolidated between 149 and 156 for multiple months over here before the rate hikes from Great Britain, as well as the invasion of Ukraine, right? Pushed us down. We grabbed liquidity with that invasion of Ukraine from Russia, and then we flipped bullish, pushing us all the way up with these rate hikes, right? Increasing the value of the Great Britain pound, as well as the weakness in the Japanese yen that's been catapulting this up as well. All right, so now looking at the current monthly candle, we are bearish, but it is the beginning of the month. So could we just be creating a bottom wick over here to flip bullish and fill that wick up here? Or are we going to hold resistance at 164, which is that previous support over here, and resistance over here to the left? Are we going to continue to push down from here, right, and get that further retracement before possibly heading back up? We could hit any of these levels in here before continuing up, right? Now looking at the weekly is actually holding a support here right in this 160 area, right? We've been holding a nice support multiple times over here. We keep rejecting it. We have the 10 EMA over here, price reacting to it in a way where it could be pushing GJ up here, right? So are we holding that support, or are we going to end up grabbing liquidity, flipping bearish, filling these wicks, and breaking that support to continue down into that like 158 area? Previous resistance over here to the left that we finally were able to break towards the end of March. Looking at the daily now, daily is holding a nice support, right? Nice higher low as well. You get multiple areas where prices held support here, and now you get that higher low formed. You get the current daily candle creating this bottom wick, never passed the low of the previous, passing the high of the previous candle over here. So could we be holding support in this area and continuing back up, right? Looking at the 4 hour made a nice jump. We're starting to exit this consolidation that we've been sitting in right here. right? Holding support with this bullish candle on the 4 hour. This candle creates its bottom wick, fills that wick, and starts pushing up above that resistance right here. So this is that resistance that we need to stay above and possibly continue back up. Where's our next area of interest? Possibly this support right here, right? We could definitely see us tapping into this area. You have about 62 pips in there. So plenty of room for you to take a trade. Move this down here. Plenty of room to be taking a trade in here. Right now, we are flipping bullish on the lower time frames and starting to head up. We got some nice price action going. So looking at the 1 hour ended up printing a strong bullish candle right here, right at that resistance, right? This candle creates its bottom wick, flips bullish past the high of that candle, and is now continuing up. Now, again, this candle really closed at the resistance, so this could be risky for somebody to take with their stop loss below the 1 hour, taking it as it passes the high of that wick and the high of this wick right here. But I could see it happening with the volume that we have kicking off the week. We could very well, like once that 1 hour candle creates a healthy bottom wick and passes the high there, that could be something that you journal as a potential breakout trade. Now, there's two different types of breakout trades. When, let's say it's the resistance like we have right here, when price closes above that resistance, that's typically the best way for you to take a breakout trade, right? When you get more so like a close like this. Right? When you get a clear close above that resistance right there, that's a breakout trade where you can maybe wait for the bottom wick on the next candle and price to flip bullish, and then you take this up, right? But with this is more of an advanced kind of a breakout trade where you see a candle like this, and again, something you want to journal. You see a candle like this form, right? It closes right at that resistance. Now, you're not going to take it right away because there's no clear stop loss. But once you get that bottom wick on the 1 hour, you can put your stop loss right there. You take it as it passes the high of that wick, maybe even, yeah, there you go, somewhere right in there. And then you take that thing up, anticipating at least like a 1-to-1, right? You can secure it 1-to-1 if that's what you want to do, depending on the range to the left. But we got a pretty clear range to the left right now. So right now, if you guys haven't taken this yet, looks like we got that liquidity grab on the 1 hour and price flip bullish and past the high of that candle. Now, there's no clear trade yet. You got to wait for some sort of support to be formed before you take this. Don't get any FOMO. It's only Monday. Just want to be safe and smart. Wait for price to form some kind of a support in the lower time frames or even like the 15-minute and take this thing up. But right now, we are skyrocketing. Yeah, we held a higher low. Little support in here. We grabbed liquidity, held the support right here with all these wicks as well. If you look at the 5-minute, 5-minute ended up holding this support right here. Kind of broke the previous support right here, but ended up holding support nonetheless, passing the high of that wick and continuing right back up. So again, we need to see some sort of a retracement over here before you start taking this. Because again, there's no clear stop loss. Does that make sense to all you guys?
Yeah.
But again, like this is something that you guys can journal and put in there on the 1 hour, how you could have taken this. Right? Price is just heading up. And we already have that 1-to-1. So we're about 20 pips in profit, 21. So that would have been a nice trade right there. You also see the bullish pressure. Higher lows right here, right? Even though we keep reacting to that resistance right here, we keep rejecting this area, you still see these areas of like higher lows being formed, right? And that tells you that we should get some bullish pressure once we break out of this area. All right, once we clear this area right here and close above it, we should be continuing up. And once we clear this area, even better. So right now, you guys kind of missed that train, but you don't want to miss this anymore because you want to be able to grab this after this wick is formed. You should be able to do that. Let me put.
Would you have entered on the 15 or on the 30?
That would have been an entry on the 1 hour.
On the 1 hour.
Yeah, so it would have been an impulse entry on the 1 hour right here. Like that's how I would enter this. And you know, having an entry on the 1 hour, that's a strong confirmation right there. That's better than the 30-minute, better than the 15-minute. It's like the hour created its wick. We had a very strong candle before that, right? Now you could always anticipate a further pullback after a close like that. You could get like a further pullback coming back into here. Price holding support and then continuing up. But right now, once you get that bottom wick, as long as it doesn't pass the high of this candle right away, right? If it does that, then that's not valid. But if you wait for a wick like this,
right, because it does have a wick.
Yeah, oh, definitely has a wick. It's the same size wick as the previous 1 hour candle too. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is something you create a card on Trello. First card of the week, probably should be, unless it's you journal the gold trade as well. First trade of the week over here, you can do like an analysis or a mistrade journal of how you could have grabbed this and write some notes to yourself. But that's how you guys get better as traders. If you guys actually want to get better as traders, these are the things you'll be doing. Just embrace all the things that most people aren't doing. All right, so moving on to gold now. We'll keep monitoring that. I'll take this off because I'm not in it. But looking over here at gold, we're in a correction again after these all-time highs were retested, right? Not created because we did that during COVID, but these all-time highs that were retested around 2075, we've been bullish. You look at the previous, no sleep. My bad. So you look at the previous monthly candles over here. Nice bullish candle with a wick to fill. We fill the wick. We push all the way up here. And we are pretty bullish. We've been respecting this bullish trend as well, right? But now we're in a corrective state. Tapping into 2000, flipping bearish, closing bearish. This candle creates its top wick, breaks the low, keeps coming down. Could we be coming down into here to possibly continue up? Or are we going to keep continuing down the more the Fed increases rates? Remember, when the Fed increases rates, that's going to hurt gold. Starting to get a little pullback. We got the 30-minute that just closed, the 1 hour that just closed. We just go right back to GJ real quick. 1 hour just closed bullish over here. So let's wait for that support to be formed so we could take a nice trade back up. Wait for your support to be formed anywhere in here. Could be anywhere, really. Wait for that support to be formed right here, and then you take price right back up. So let's see what we get. Looking at gold, again, we're starting to continue back down. Current monthly candle, very bearish. It's still the beginning of the month, so how much farther could we continue to push over here? Looking at the weekly now, we're breaking, sitting at 1850 right now. I'm actually going to mark 1850 off, but you have that resistance right here at 1830. Again, how many times has price, rejected that area? Multiple times. We faked it out right here, faked it out again over here, and then finally broke through 1830. But right now, 1850, I think, is a significant area. If you look over here to the left, these wicks, right? These wicks over here, you have that resistance right here, this wick right here, all meeting up at 1850. So we have this wick that looks like we're filling. And now that we are breaking that weekly support over here, we're no longer in a corrective state. We're now in a bearish state because we're now breaking the weekly support over here. So just healthy bearish candles mirroring this move right here. Price is pushing down. All right. So now what we just got was a beautiful reaction to this area right here. You had a previous support over here holding. I remember this price action over here. We finally exited it with this wick right here. This candle continued. This actually is the perfect setup that I was just talking about with GJ on the 1 hour, where like you have this consolidation sitting right here. You have this huge wick rejection with this candle right here. Price ended up holding support. And then what you ended up getting was a strong bullish candle on the daily with a wick to fill right below that level or right at that level, right? That previous resistance reaction point. Once you wait for this bottom wick to form, right, and then flip bullish, that's where you could possibly take a trade to fill this wick right here. All right, it's kind of similar to what I was just talking about on the 1 hour on GJ. GJ is actually flipping bullish again. We got a little reaction to that area. Rid of this. Looks like we're kind of holding a support in here. We're not going to enter this space on a 5 minute. Is anybody looking at this? Does this appeal to anybody?
If we break a high, 1 hour high, then I'm looking to take it.
I'm thinking the same thing because what we have right here is at least 25 pips back up to this area with a very clean move to the left. Right, so we can mirror that entire move coming up here with your stop loss below this 1 hour as it passes the high of that candle. Could be interesting unless you get a deeper pullback, which is what I would like. But we'll see. I'll keep monitoring it. Once I'll actually put this right here. Here we go. Why didn't that work? Not working. Let's see. All right, we'll keep going with gold and see what happens with that. So anyway, right now, this previous support that I was just talking about ended up holding as a support right over here before breaking right through it, creating this low, right? We create this low last week. We come right back up to retest this area, get a hard rejection with this bearish candle right here. Then we close bullish at this point right here. Right, strong bullish candle, but it passed the low of that candle and created a lower high. So a lot of confusion in this area. But once we created this top wick on this candle and flip bearish, we just started pushing right back down to retest the previous lows. So what are the chances that gold, after a move like this, is going to come down and at least tap 1850? Right, at least come down into this area. They're pretty high. So looking at the 4 hour. 4 hour, now you're starting to get into choppy waters, right? We broke the previous bearish trend right here, right? Or bullish trend. We had a little, corrective state kind of pushing up into this area, holding resistance, and then continuing right back down, right? So we have very strong bearish candles. We actually just broke this support over here, right? We're coming into this support right here. Right, and we're just pushing down into 1850, knowing that that's that psychological number that price wants to retest. This one's in morning, Reese. Reese, can you hear me? Maybe his mic's not working. Okay, so that's the 4 hour. Looking at the 1 hour, maybe we could get some clearer price action over here. So 1 hour, I'm just going to get rid of this real quick. 1 hour, we had this previous support over here, right? Price broke through it, formed a nice bearish candle with a wick to fill over here, but a nice clean close below. That's the exact close I like to see below a certain level that I want broken, right? I want to see a clean close with a wick to fill. Now, what kind of price action are we going to be getting? Are we going to get some kind of a retest for a price to continue down? I'd be careful of this level right here, right? Maybe price reacts to it, continues back up, and then continues back down to fill that wick because we react to this level right here. Or are we just going to push right through it, continuing right back down into this level? All good, Reese. Ooh, this is that setup we like. This is the 30-minute. 30-minute clean bearish close. Get the retest with that weak bullish candle. This candle creates its top wick. Past the low of that candle, you could possibly take an impulse entry. How many setups have we been getting with that? Right? So looking at the lower time frames here, price is holding that resistance right there. I think this may be an opportunity for a sell once we break these wicks. Right? You get that bearish candle close. Got that bearish candle close. This candle created its top wick. Past the low of that candle right there. 15-minute. We're still in the first half of the 15-minute candle here. We're actually getting into the second half at 7:09 now. So what are we going to be doing here? We're going to be breaking the low. And where's our target? What's our plan for this trade? Again, you may want to be aware of this level right here, but I could see us continuing down. Looking at like the 30-minute, you get that move all the way back down into this area. So is anybody else looking at the same thing right here? I'd honestly rather take this based on, like, I'd rather the 15-minute kind of stay where it's at right now. And then the next one creates a top wick and pass the low over here. But I think this is looking good so far to use dynamic risk, stop loss above this wick right here, and anticipate price continuing to drop. Is everyone on the same page?
Yeah, I remember you talking about setups like this on gold.
It's really the 30-minute setup right here that I like a lot. And we are just dropping. So you're trying to just kind of hop on the train and ride along. Passing the low right now. So I'm using dynamic risk. I'm entering right now. Anticipating a further drop. Typically, I would put my stop loss above this entry candle right here, but I wanted to stay a little bit safer. It did put it right there, right? Yes. Yeah, I put it right above that bullish candle. So we'll see how we end up over here. We're getting a deeper retracement over here on GJ. Now, this is what we want. We want that further pullback to continue back up. Got a nice high created. Wait for that support to be formed. You got New York volume coming up soon. So maybe you can hold that support and continue back up, and we could catch that as well. Right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to open up the journal over here. If it'll work. I'm going to also wait for the 15-minute to close. It's 2021. I want to see the 15-minute close, see how that closes so that we can grab, we can enter another position if it presents itself. Barely took anything last week. No, week of lead to the 13th. (7:09 a.m. Monday). What's up, Donnie?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good to hear. I'm just journaling this trade on gold that I'm in right now. Gold is dropping. We're trying to hop on the train right now. Trade we just called. Let me just break this down for you really quickly. Since it just came in.
Okay.
So daily again, or weekly, very bearish, breaking the previous weekly support over here. Again, clear candle, strong candle with a wick to fill. We fill that wick with this candle, strong bearish candle with a wick to fill. Now this candle creates its style wick, just pushing right back down to 1850. It looks like, right? There's nothing really stopping us from coming back down and filling that wick at 1850. Looking at the daily now. Daily is holding that clear resistance, coming right back down again. After creating this low, we retest, hard rejection of this area, and now we're pushing down to fill this wick. 4 hour now. Again, we cleared this previous support over here, and now we do have this level right here that we're sitting at, which we need to be aware of, which I'm definitely aware of. And I'm not going to let it like frighten me, but I'm going to be aware of it. But we have this wick that we could be filling and continuing right back down. So can we continue to do so? Remains to be seen. So let me just grab this thing up here. All right, 15-minute candle just closed bearish. Nice strong candle as well. Now, if the next 15-minute creates its top wick and pass the low of the current one, the entry one, I'll enter another position. Dynamic risk.
Can you guys hear me?
What's up?
Oh, you guys can hear me now, right?
Oh, there we go. There he
Okay,
is.
good. Morning, morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great, doing great.
Awesome. You have a good
Everybody
weekend?
have a good weekend?
I did. How about yourself?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Spent time with the mom and my sister yesterday, as well as family. So
Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Where? How's everyone's mothers doing?
All
Great,
good on
great.
my end, man. They all got spoiled yesterday, so
Yeah,
they're
right.
all good. Yeah.
It's their day. Don't worry, Donnie. Your day is in a month.
That's right, man. My day's in 2 months when I'm past this challenge and working my way out of the Navy, but
Yes, sir. You could truly enjoy your Father's Day with a past challenge and
that's right.
sit back with a nice beer. Enjoy your new house.
That's it, man.
Out of the Navy. We got some milestones this year, my friend.
This is the year, brother.
Now low created. New York. formed on the 15-minute. I don't know if I finished breaking this down for you. 30-minute. Again, we created this low over here. You get that weak bullish candle close over here. Top wick formed on this candle. We pass the low of that candle, and that's where we enter with our stop loss above that candle right here. Also, based on the 15-minute, I liked how the 15-minute closed over here, but not only that, passed the low of these wicks after, printing a bearish candle. This candle closing bearish as well, which added to the confluence. So let's see if this stays valid. If we keep that a healthy top wick formed, and then we start passing the low of this 15-minute, I may enter another position. Let's see. So that's the 15-minute. Anybody looking to take this after we break the low? If we do, getting that retracement.
The 15 didn't create a bottom one.
15-minute. Yeah, it hasn't created a bottom wick yet. And plus, our stop loss is in the safe spot right now. Typically, like I was saying before, it would be above this candle right here, right? But right now, I feel safer keeping it above this wick, right? And spreading my risk out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think as soon as it passes that low, I'm gonna take it.
Okay. All right.
Dude, everything's looking bearish today, bro.
What's up?
Everything, the whole market is looking red.
Oh, yeah.
Gold, GJ, US 30, crypto. Damn, no.
Yeah, markets are not doing too well, man. A lot of fear in the market. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Look at this. These are all the indices, the world indices right now. The commodities right now. I'm sure crypto as well.
Bro, bleeding.
Yeah, you want to give us a little briefing? Crypto.
Yeah, no, I mean, bro, we just broke. I mean, crypto to me is gonna go back down to 28. I think from what I've seen. I mean, it created a new low in the month. On the monthly, it's about to hit a key level at 31 on the weekly, and then we'll see, man. I mean, if everything keeps dropping, then it's gonna drop with it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for some kind of a support to form on Bitcoin. I want to take it back up. There was one certain point. I was looking at Ethereum over here, which is tanking. There was a certain point right over here where we were holding this higher low. Oh, gold just passed the low over here, so I re-entered another one.
Yeah, I just entered too.
You did?
Yeah. Small risk. And you had 1850 there as a psychological number, or it's what's the reason that you take profits at 1850? Because it's
1850, just because of that wick. Like, I know the limitation on my trade, and I'm confident in the fact that we can fill that wick, but you're going to get some kind of a rejection from there. Does that make sense? 15-minute entry. Or not re-entry, but yeah, give it that.
So what did you do? You enter a first position, and then as soon as you pass it low, you're doing like dynamic
Yes, yeah. So my first entry was as this 15-minute past the low of these wicks, right? Ended up closing there, which is good, right? Nice strong 15-minute close, right? So now I have my stop loss up here. Now I'm waiting for the next candle to create its top wick and pass the low of this one. Once it does, then we can enter another one, right? So that's what we're doing right now. Looking for price to continue to drop here. Looking to grab my 1-to-1. See the 30.
Would you take a third position if he breaks that 15-minute that that long wick that he has right there, the low?
No, I think I'm good with the two positions right now. I have my full rest 2% so far on this setup. You also have this level over here that you want to be aware of, right? You have this rejection, this support over here, multiple supports. I think we should push through it, especially based on like the 30-minute. We could continue right back down to fill this wick right here, but nonetheless, I don't want to, over risk it right now. I like the way we're creating these lower highs. I just want price to continue down from here. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of the 5-minute because I like to monitor these time frames. There's a lot to learn from these time frames, guys. All of them. I don't like how we're flipping bullish over here. Should be okay because the 30-minute is going to close soon. And the 30-minute can close like this. Next candle could create its top wick and start continuing bearish. I don't like how that candle flipped. Also, anybody looking at GJ right now, we're getting that further pullback, which is good. Come on, gold drop. Let's see what we got. I don't like what we're doing over here.
Yeah.
Again, we got the 30-minute closing. That's why I put my stop loss up here so that we would have some room to manage risk. God forbid the 30-minute starts to flip bullish. But maybe we're just getting that retracement before it closes. We're leaving a wick to fill and continuing down. We got 3 minutes left.
I closed a little bit just in case.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Take off a little piece. Let me see.
I took it as if when the 5 minute candle passed the highs of the previous two. Took
Okay.
half.
Yeah, it took a little piece off. I know.
I'm gonna wait for GJ. Looks like everybody's gonna set up.
Yeah, it's looking like it may be doing the exact same thing that we've been talking about. Wait for that support to be formed here with 8 o'clock open, and we could take this thing out. I'd love gold to drop. Yeah, this is that area we were just talking about too. Kind of reacting to this whole support right here. All right, now we got the 30-minute flipping bullish. I'm gonna exit the full thing. Don't like it.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Like a few months.
So closed.
Did you guys secure that gold trade?
When?
Did you not do a little drop, like a 10 pip?
Right here?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I was looking for a further drop. Hold on one second. All right. Let's see. Let's drill this. I still think it could possibly drop, but it's reacting to that area. What was that the all right. Let's see. What's interesting too is these wicks possibly getting filled, but these are two hard rejections. You got this candle that closed right here, or came down here, rejected, and closed right here. With this little retest over here, we get a hard rejection on the 30-minute with this candle right here. So are we going to get a deeper pullback is the question, reacting to that area we were just talking about over here. So I'm out of this. We'll see how we end up moving here. But let's look at GJ over here and see if we hold support. And this is what you're looking for, Sammy?
Sorry, what did you say?
This is what you're looking for? The support?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for.
So bring this over here.
I was gonna take that gold trade, but it was kind of a bit too low for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We were kind of selling the lows over here, but I could definitely see that continuation with the way we were forming. But we took it on the 15-minute, and that's what you got to understand with the 15-minute. Sometimes it's risky.
This week's wedding week, so it's kind of hectic in my house.
Oh, in your house it is?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Not all the arrangements.
No other what?
All the arrangements.
Oh, in your house?
No, everyone's getting ready at my house.
Oh, really? Oh, so you got like a lot of chaos around you?
Yeah,
No, that won't happen.
it might get a bit noisy.
You're good.
What did you do over the weekend?
We went to it's a place called Annapolis, Maryland. It's where the US Naval Academy is, but we went down there for Mother's Day. We got like an Airbnb with my wife's side of the family. So it was nice. Just able to get away a little bit and spend some time with them, give them a nice Mother's Day. How about you, Sammy?
Nothing much. It wasn't Mother's Day in the UK.
Oh,
I
wasn't?
I was happening in March, I think.
Oh, you guys already had it.
Yeah, ours is different compared to yours and the rest of the world, I think.
That's funny. We do everything differently somehow.
Yeah, the UK, they always want to be different.
I think it's us always wanting to be different because like as far as like the
Okay.
metric system, um, the way we drive, I don't know, there's
Okay.
just so many different things that like we just gotta be annoying like that. What is GJ gonna do? Oh, that's what I wanted to check. Yeah, we just wait and see. And then with GJ over here, let's see, from like this area to here, got about 45, 50 pips.
Yeah, I'm thinking whenever we close strong bullish on
What's
the
up?
30-minute, I'm looking for a buy.
We're waiting for a buy on GJ.
Yeah, wherever we close a strong bullish.
Yeah. Are you thinking the ticket on the 15 or the 20-minute? Or the 30-minute?
I'm unsure. I'm kind of torn. I want a stronger 15. If the 15 closes above 800, 810, that'll be good enough for me to take that.
You're saying if we close somehow like this?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're getting that candle right here with that top wick. A lot of times that wick gets filled. But let's see how this 15 closes. And we'll act accordingly from here. You still got plenty of range coming up here.
Because I do think we have enough volume to give us 10, 15, 20 pips.
Yeah, I mean, with pre-New York and then coming into New York, with the move that we had during London here, like this, and then continuation during New York, I could definitely see it. Especially with this move right here, at least into this area. And we could very well continue through that, like tapping into this 200 EMA on the 1 hour. So let's see how this 15 closes. I'm curious. Yeah, let me look. I get Bitcoin just tanking, but I want to see a hold support around 30,000, 35.
Yeah, I think if BTC doesn't if we start closing below 31K, I think it's gonna be pretty hard, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty insane.
'Cause that's like the last weekly support that there is at like 31,800, and everything else is like pretty unbalanced. Like there's like not really any support.
Yeah. GU. This is from, there we go. Reese. Okay. Sells below this level. Okay. I can see that would be tough. What this is the 1 hour. Okay. Sells below this level, clean move to mirror. And then buys above that level. Okay. Anybody else looking at this pair? Somebody
I would try not to take a trade between 122,600 and 124. I'd try to like take buys above 124 and sells below 122,600.
let me see these levels you're saying. Yeah, then 122,600. Okay, so what you're seeing right here is a very strong support held in this area, right? With this candle close, right? So once you get a bullish candle like that close right at this level, it's going to be a lot harder for you. Like if price breaks this level right here, it's going to be a lot harder for you to take sells right here. Safer sells are going to be right here, right? I mean, depending on what this looks like on
Yeah.
the time frames, but like this is too strong of a candle right here to like kind of mirror this on the way down and like completely correct it, especially because we just closed above. Unless we get some kind of a fake out right here where like price closed above that level with this candle, and then this candle closes back below right here, kind of retest that. We're already in a bearish trend, right? And we could possibly take that. But again, we're still pushing up with these candles here. Got a bottom wick here, probably about to pass the high of that candle. So depending on the price action to the left, which is a little choppy, I think safer buys are going to be above this level right here. That makes sense? Yeah, you'll have nice buys above here. Yeah.
What? That's like 123, 123, right?
I don't see what.
Around that, I guess around that area.
Yeah, I could just move this right here. 123. Yeah, I'd say that's 123, 700. Probably. It's this resistance right here, this white line. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Good job sending your chart though. You see how much you got out of that as far as like what to do and how like to avoid this area a little bit.
Yeah. So like what I'll do before I used to complicate myself and like think about catching like in like the area that you have your cursor at right now. So like the setups and the trades that I've been trying to pay attention and catch is pretty much stronger ones.
Wait, I didn't really understand what you were saying.
Usually like I try to catch them like
Reese, you keep breaking up. I'm sorry.
can you hear me clearly now?
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so usually what I do is I try to catch some pips in the middle area here and not take the safer buys and sells. But what I'm doing now with my trading is I'm trying to go for the safer trades. So buys above like 124, for example, and sells below 122,600. So
Beautiful.
I try to just stay out where there's a lot of traffic or where there's a lot of strong levels. That's like pretty much try to take my eyes away from that. So
Yeah, and you can ask, not only take it from me, but take it from some of the guys in here about how patient they've gotten by doing that now and how much better they feel about their trading. They feel patient, they feel composed. not too antsy to take anything. That's
But
what.
one thing I've been noticing about how I look at the charts is like I'm looking too much at like different areas.
Okay.
But like I kind of also noticed too that like the stronger levels are starting to show, like in my eyes, I guess, or however way I look at it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, the more you break down the chart, the more it's going to get clearer for you as far as like what levels they are. The more you erase levels and then redraw them, you know that's gonna get you a lot more clear with your direction on where price is gonna go and stuff.
yeah, and I'm also gonna pretty much. I had E, A, and gold originally as my pairs, but over the Zoom there, I decided to go with GU and delete the other two and just focus on GU and then just trade this for now.
Okay.
Oh.
Beautiful. So wait, you just said it's just GU?
Yeah, just GU now, like only that, like starting fresh and just
Okay.
gonna focus on this and learn this stuff because like pretty much our group focuses on gold and DJ, so I'm pretty much just used to just looking at it and watching you guys.
Yeah,
With I could learn a different pair, and we rarely talk about it, right?
I like it. Yeah, you're going independent. You're looking for a pair that makes sense to you. You like it. You
That
like
way,
the moves.
that way I can at least share information on this pair too, right?
Exactly. And I'm vaguely familiar or kind of remember one other person trading GU in here other than yourself. I think it may be Gary, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think I was gonna ask Gary the other day because I think I remember it being him.
I'll
He
find out.
usually trades it in London.
He does during London.
What are your
think so,
thoughts?
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just sorry to pipe in there. I was just wondering what your thoughts, Steph, are on this 15-minute close here on GJ. I've been watching it and just waiting for my move here.
It's healthy. I like it.
I don't like there's no top wick on it, but it's just a 15-minute candle. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like the fact that the 1 hour candle already created its bottom wick and passed the high of that candle. We could be continuing up. Yeah, I don't like the way it closed either. I wanted it to close like kind of like somewhere around here with a wick to fill. The problem is like there's no clear stop loss. Like, would you got to put your stop loss at least on the 15-minute, right? And it would be right here. But your take profit is right up here. So you're only really looking for that 1-to-1. Like, is that what you're gonna do? You know?
yeah, it's not ideal.
It's not. I want to see. I'm looking at gold too. The way it's kind of like rejecting this area. I'm probably gonna wait for the hour close for gold. Let's see if I'm gonna re-enter or not. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But again, like it's Monday, you don't want to feel that jump or that antsiness to just jump into a trade. Sammy, how about yourself? I know you were looking at this as well.
Yeah, stop loss was too big, to be honest, at the end.
That's the main thing. I mean, once you go through your full checklist, you're looking through multiple time frames here. Okay, like they all make sense. 1 hour we were just looking at, we were looking at the 30-minute, 15-minute, but at the same time, like one of those, the last stops before you actually enter a trade is first having that exit plan, but also even before the exit plan, you got to know where your stop loss is going to be. That's got to be number one. Well, not number one because you're checking through other things, but stop loss is probably one of the most important things because that's what'll make or break a trade. It'll keep you in, or it'll help you take the trade, or it'll keep you out of it for good measure.
Yeah, but there's one other thing. If this makes a healthy bottom wick and then flips and breaks the high.
Well, what I would like is a nice, healthy 30-minute candle close like this. We wait for 8 o'clock to come around. Next 30-minute candle creates a bottom wick here and then continues right back up.
Yeah, that's a good shout as well.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna use the bathroom really quick. I don't think we're gonna be missing anything before then, so just give me 1 sec. I'll be right back, okay?
You have 12 minutes, sorry.
What?
You have 12 minutes.
Oh, man, yeah. No, I should be way before that. All right, 1 sec.
Sammy, if it creates that bottom wick like it has and flips bullish, are you considering an impulse entry?
Yo. Wow.
I'm kind of interested in this play here, actually, as it's flipping bullish here. Maybe
Me too.
impulse under the bottom wick or stop loss under the bottom wick, impulse entry.
That could play out, especially because you do have 5-10 minutes. So can that now the question is you're looking at the 1 hour candle now, right? So how far can this go before closing? Because you know the end of the 1 hour candle, typically a healthy 1 hour candle, you're gonna get that retracement at the end, right? That top wick form
True.
at the end. This is tricky. Now, me personally, my psychology, I'm always transparent with you guys. My psychology after just taking a loss or managing a loss on gold, it is keeping me out of this a little bit. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like it's making me a little bit more conservative to wait because I only have 2 opportunities to take a trade, right? Every session, only 2 opportunities to take a trade. So, what are you going to use those on? Am I going to use this before the hour close when I know I have like really 2-3 more hours that I could be trading where I have solid volume? Do I want to wait for that that next setup that's like optimal? Like this one is questionable. I'm like 60% sure that this is going to continue pushing up, but that's not enough for me right now. I like to the trades where you're like, I'm like 90% sure this is about to play out. I've seen this over and over and over and over again. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those setups are the ones you use that second opportunity on. See how it's kind of like hovering around here? I just want to see it close like this on the 30-minute. We'll see. And another thing you could do is use like these lower time frames. Looks like we got that resistance closed above. This candle rejected it. 5 minutes passing the high, created that bottom wick. Yeah. We're getting, Donnie, we're getting like close to the hour close here.
Yeah, pretty close for sure. It's definitely it's not the most ideal setup, and I agree with you. It's Monday, right? So got all week.
Well, oh yeah, absolutely. And one thing you can also do is lower your risk on this significantly if you wanted to like take it. You can live back test this, right? We're still getting experience. We're watching how it's playing out, and we could be like, okay, this is where we would secure before the hour close if we did get that 10 pips, which it's looking
Yeah.
pretty solid, right?
I did actually, like you said earlier, I did a 50% risk entry on this. I lowered it by half and did enter
Oh, you're saying 50% of what you normally would be
of
risking?
what I would normally, trade. Yeah.
I only risk
Yeah.
50% of my account.
Yeah. Hey, it's a good way to start a challenge. Not.
All right. So yeah, we're about 6.5, 7 pips in profit. Now, it like I said, it could push 10 pips. Yeah,
We
stop.
got that 162 hole level coming up here too. It might get a little bit sticky yet.
Absolutely.
Are you guys in this?
No, Sammy.
No, same.
No.
I'm in with lowered risk, Sammy.
Yeah. Is this your first day of the challenge or?
I did a challenge a couple years ago, but I just wasn't ready for it. But I feel like I'm in a much better place right now. So yeah, I went for it.
Donnie's another one that's been doing really well. You know, like obviously I have the scheduling conflicts with being in the Navy and you know, that makes it more difficult, but like everyone's got their card or the hand that they were dealt, you know, and you just learn to embrace it and you've been doing so much better with your account. What was your live account's up like 28% or something?
It was 23%. I'm at 24% now since for the year. Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing well, right?
Yeah, man. It's,
That's
you know
only
what? I got
good.
back testing, man. Like, because when I was at sea, I brought my laptop and when we didn't have a good internet connection, I had all the history loaded on my computer and I back tested like crazy. And man, has it been night and day. Like back testing has been the thing that has really changed everything for me, I gotta say.
What about back testing does it for you?
It's the familiarity with the pair. I find like I know GJ now. You've talked about it, Steph, many times, but you get this like intuition with the pair once you know it's so good, right?
Mm.
And I feel like that has been huge. Like you start to see the same setups over and over and over again. And like this one here, I've seen this before, right? And it's not my ideal setup. But I have seen it play out, and I lowered my risk, just because I have to end my trading day here very shortly. And I figured, hey, I'll take this one, which I'm now closing 80%.
It's a good trade right there.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a break even.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, this is one of those where like I would have liked this candle to close like more so somewhere around here with a wick to fill, and the next candle creates its bottom wick and then past the high. But because we closed like that with that top wick right there, and we were so close to the hour close that, I mean, look how big that 30-minute close or that 30-minute candle is. That typically candles don't get that big, right? But I mean, we just had that little hiccup there and we're just taking off. So that's nice. Good shit, Donnie.
Hey, I'll take it.
Glad you grabbed that. Now again, like journaling and studying this move, this is where you'll be able to catch some of these more often. All right, like I'm gonna be journaling this one today, and just knowing like, okay, pay attention to this a little bit more. Understand like how we created this support right here. Again, this is that candle I always like, and we ended up filling that wick and closing up here, which I didn't want. I wanted to fill that wick and then retrace a little bit and then continue up. That would have been the move. I would have entered one right there. And then after this candle created its bottom wick and passed the high of that candle with my stop loss in the same spot. And that's what I would, I'd be securing in about a minute or so. Donna, you were talking about back testing. And what type of back testing have you been doing?
I use the Soft4fx. Yeah, I use Soft4fx, and yeah, like I used to back test with Soft4fx a couple years ago, but I wasn't doing it properly. I wasn't really making the most of my back testing by, like, writing things down and taking screenshots of repeat setups and making entries in my journal about it, and, like, things I noticed. I would just back test and just pay attention to my account size, before, and, like, okay, cool, I'm up like 20% or whatever. And I just wasn't getting as much out of it. But since, like, really focusing on finding familiar things and finding repeat setups and, different quirks and queries of the pair and, like, making note of them has been huge. Soft4fx is great. I love it.
It just gives you so much more experience in such a short amount of time too. Now, do you play it in real time, or do you play it, you speed it up?
So yeah, so I will speed it up depending on, like, if it's in a range and I know I'm not going to trade in this range, I'll speed it up and, like, all right, cool, I'm waiting for a break and kind of speed up that way. But as soon as I get into my trading hours of London Open until I leave to work at 7, which is 6 Eastern, 7 Atlantic time, I just slow it down to almost real time for that period and just take it, like, I try and make it as realistic as possible, like as if I'm trading in my session, my 3 to 4 hour session in the morning. Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, it's been helpful. Also, like, I've started just reviewing the previous week on Saturdays. So I'll get up in the morning and I will replay that week and just go over, certain things that I might have missed.
You'll do that on SoftFX?
Well, yeah, or trading. I've been doing that on TradingView, but I will be doing it on, I think, can you update the data that quickly? You can? Yeah, okay. Then I'm good.
The thing is, like, that's why I was asking you, because, like, I wasn't sure if they can do the full of last week, like, if they're that caught up. I think they're caught up 2 weeks before.
Okay, well, maybe I'll just
I'm not mistaken. Don't take my word for it.
I'll have to look into that, because that would be ideal if I could do Soft4fx.
I know. Because I did wonder that once, and I never went to check. I think I got sidetracked, but yeah, I've always been curious about that. If you get, like, back test the whole previous week, because I did that on many times on TradingView, where I would just back test the whole week, journal the trades I would have taken, and then move on to the next week or the next pair, and I do the same exact thing in the next pair. What's meet up or call this one? Oh, damn, Sharma's out in New York right now. I saw it on her Instagram, but she wants to meet up. That'd be awesome.
No, I'll be in New York actually in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Our ship's pulling in. I'll have to see if we can link up, man.
How long are you gonna be here?
I think 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see if it works out. It works out. That'd be cool.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Well, 3 days. We gotta make it happen. I'm up there almost every day during the week. Weekend, I like take to myself. I have a bunch of Zooms with you guys. I try to use that time to keep to myself, spend time with the wife. You gotta friends. You gotta be able to balance a lot of that stuff. Focus on your own trading too. But yeah, weekdays I'm in the city just about every single day.
Yeah, man. Well, hopefully you know, maybe I can come meet you just by flying because I'll be out of the Navy by then.
Yeah, exactly. Come on down here.
But we'll be parked. Do you know where the aircraft carrier museum is down in New York, like on the waterfront? There's
Oh,
I
yeah,
think the
that's pretty cool.
Eisenhower. That's where we park anyways, usually right beside that
Oh yeah,
museum.
that's that
Yeah.
pier right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the Intrepid. It's pretty
the
wild.
Intrepid. That's right.
Yeah, I've been there multiple times as a kid. The definition. Yeah, guys, this is an aircraft carrier right outside of right on the pier in Manhattan. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me. I'm trying to find this for you. There you go. Wish you could like see it bigger. Whatever. You could see it. It's right outside Manhattan. It's pretty cool. Aircraft carrier.
Nice. The goal is playing games, bro. It's like not going in a clear direction. It's just going
Gold,
back
yeah.
down.
Yeah, gold has been playing around over here for a little bit. Like it looked like this candle was creating Tau wick, passing below that candle, continuing down. But that was, like I said before, this was an area that we had to be aware of. Right? And now, how could we have managed this even better? After reacting to this support right here, this candle already rejected it. This candle rejected it. And this was that setup that we like on the 30-minute, created a top wick already, and then passed the low. So we followed our rules over here. But once we passed the low and made this quick push right here to kind of fill the wick, we pushed about 17 pips right there. Now our stop loss was at 29. So that's why I wasn't securing anything right there. But being aware of this area right here, if we were able to grab that amount of pips, if we were able to grab a quick push like that right through that level for about 17 pips, also paying attention to, get rid of this real quick, paying attention to all these wicks, this whole range right here, right? Got all these wicks in this whole area that you could have understood that we're going to tap into that area. Let me grab my piece real quick. Let me grab a little position, right? And then, you know, once we start flipping bullish up here, where's the 15-minute? Once we start flipping bullish right up here, and you know, that's where you could close another 50. 5-minute, as we're holding support here, held support right here with this bullish candle. This candle ended up rejecting, and that's where we would have secured. And then we ended up closing up here. So right there is a little red flag. And then this candle passes the high of that candle right there, right on the 5-minute. So right here, you could have closed another 50, right? Looking at the 1-minute. Now on the 1-minute, you're starting to see this resistance right here on the 1-minute. This was our push where we secured. This is where we would have closed 50, another 50 right up here. Once you start breaking structure here on the 1-minute, right? Because after that, we start creating higher lows and higher highs. So that's where you could have closed a little bit less. Instead of securing up here, which I did, I wanted to give it some more room to breathe, right? But that's how you could have managed that even better. Right, so that's what you put in your journal, and you learn from it. Damn, GJ is just pushing. Donnie, are you still in this?
Yeah, I got my runner going 20% still. Yeah.
Good shit, man. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, again, it's only Monday. If you guys missed this, if you guys were watching this and this is something that you wanted to take, journal it. I know I keep repeating it, but like that's how you learn. Don't get FOMO right now. You stay patient, stay ready for your next setup. It's only Monday. At some point, you're going to get some kind of a pullback here on GJ. You don't want to try just buying the highs up here. All right, Reese. Did he already leave? Yeah, I think he left. Now be aware of this area right here. A lot of people will get impatient, like they missed the previous moves, like we just did, and they'll try buying up here. We have, and they're going to ignore this area too, and they're going to just get trapped. Don't be that guy. So let's take a look at gold again. Damn, look at that. So we got a nice solid push through the support, right? Price tapped into this area and then started to reject. And that's kind of what happened right here. Yeah, right here. So where can we be going? Yeah, just studying some of these previous daily candles on gold, right? They never really got bigger than these. Right, so could gold end up closing somewhere around here? Maybe it closes here, like slightly below that support. Maybe it closes really strong somewhere down here with even more of a wick to fill. But even if we close right here at this level, anticipate a bounce off of the level, right? Like a support formed on the lower time frames, but that's just the top wick formed on the daily candle tomorrow. And then we end up flipping bearish, filling the previous wicks and continuing down, especially if we get a daily close like that. Like that's strong. And we have been bearish. We're no longer really in a corrective state. It's more so, you know, very bearish until we come down into this area right here. That's that trend line that we've been following over here. Just that. There you go. So on a whole macro level, yes, we are very bullish, right? And we are kind of in a corrective state on these higher time frames, the weekly, the monthly, coming down into this area to continue up. Like look at the monthly. Could just be holding a support here to continue up. But once you get to the lower time frames, it's like we've been since tapping 2000 again, right here. That was back in mid-April. So it's been almost a month of just bearish price action and sells on gold. That's all we've pretty much been taking on gold is sells. So we'll see how this 4-hour candle closes. Does it close below or above this support? GJ, 5-minute kind of just rejected this area.
Yeah, I've kind of got like on the 4-hour on GJ, it's looking like it's kind of tapping into, you know, I had a resistance area drawn out. So I closed I closed another 10%.
Okay, good. I think that was smart. And what was your entry? Your entry was 800,
Entry
I know.
was
900.
yeah, I got in at 917, I think it was 917.
7 right here.
Yeah.
Awesome. You could take what about 25 pips?
Yeah, man. I ended up getting actually like my runner. I closed 10% at 20 pips because it kind of started to retrace before I closed it.
Okay.
And I've got another just 10% running now.
Beautiful, man. Good start to the challenge.
Yeah, not bad, man. I'm feeling like we're gonna crush it.
Oh, absolutely. Just one trade at a time, man. One decision. That's it.
Yeah. One advice I can give you is that take your time.
Hold
Don't
on.
try to pass in a week, because that's something I used to do when I
What was that, Sammy? Sorry, I missed you there. Missed it.
No, I said take your time. Don't try to pass that within 1-2 weeks. If it happens, it happens, but don't force it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the
I
monthly
got
days
you.
is 5 days, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it's only 5 days in the month that you need to trade. So I'm only looking for the most optimal entries. This one here was even one I probably shouldn't have taken, but I lowered my risk and I was happy with that and it worked out. But yeah, I found I was talking to Steph for a little coaching session before I started this challenge, and I was telling him that the previous challenge that I did really well off the start, and then I just started to get overconfident, and it started to affect my trading. So I'm just, I'm staying flatline this whole time here, just level headed, really focusing on not letting any emotions affect anything here as I trade. So,
Patience will get you through it.
oh yeah,
Because when I used to take a lot, like two years ago, I used to fail them because I tried to pass within 2 weeks. Like that was my deadline. I was like, if I don't pass in 2 weeks, it's not gonna work. But these past 6 months, I've been just, if it takes 4 weeks, but as long as I pass, I'm happy. You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm not in a rush.
Yeah, that's just one advising you, because I just passed 2.
Awesome.
So yeah,
What company are you using?
my Forex funds.
My Forex funds. And what made you choose that one over like, I don't know, like FTMO or Live or whatever?
I don't know really. I don't know. FTMO is they've had their issues previously,
Mm-hmm.
which which given me a bit of a doubt. And
Like with you personally, you had issues with them?
not me, not me, but
Oh, okay.
people, have downgraded.
Yeah.
So that's one reason I go with FTMO. And my Forex Fund support team is very good. Like even when I wasn't a part of their team, they get back to you within like 1 hour. Each email 1 hour. You know what I mean?
They pay in crypto or they pay like directly
They
to
pay
your
both.
account?
They pay crypto and money.
Nice.
So and the payments every 2 weeks.
You got them paid for them already?
Yeah.
Nice.
And what else is since I joined the group, yes, you could say.
Yeah, but like again, like I always put that back on you because like whenever you guys are losing, it's on you. Like it's not the market's fault, right? But like when you guys are winning, it's because of you too. It's your decisions that you're making.
Yeah.
So like I commend you for everything you've done, the work you've been putting in. It's been awesome to watch, and we're just you came in, we fine tuned a couple things, and then I mean you were just off to the races.
I remember when I first joined, it was like I actually took I think I took all losses that week. I had like I had a good look at myself. I was like thinking, what's going wrong here? What do I need? You know, I was just falling off the tree that I was once on top of.
Mhm.
So I had a Zoom with you, Stephanos, and from there I never looked back really, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't lose a trade after
Sorry.
that for like what, a month?
Yeah, the whole of March, the whole of March I didn't lose a trade. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
You know, Jamie now, don't you?
Jamie?
Yeah, he schedules a Zoom for you on Friday.
Oh yes. Yeah, you know Jamie?
Yeah, he's a close friend of mine,
Yeah,
and
we're hopping on today at 4:30.
yeah, you know, he was in the same boat as I am.
Okay.
Well, he was on top of the tree, and now he's falling off.
Okay.
I just said to him, just book a Zoom, free Zoom with Stefano to help you out, you know, and join. Obviously, it's his decision, but he's saying even without the Zoom, he's looking to join. But I would say he's
Okay.
an awesome guy. He's just falling off a bit. He needs that a bit of motivation to keep him going. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well, I mean, first of all, I appreciate you sending it my way. Yeah, no, it's also like the vetting process too. Like, and I trust you. I think you're awesome, and if you know any friend of yours is a friend of mine, so I'm sure that he would be qualifying to be in here. I just like to like meet people before they come in. Like Praveen was actually one person that he just signed up on my website right away. Like nobody really does that. It's like I always want to book a Zoom with the guys to make sure that you know you fit the mold, you fit the culture of what I'm trying to build in here, um, and just fit the locker room. Like you get along with people. You're not like just obnoxious or you know you're not coachable. You know you don't want that in your locker room because that's gonna it's gonna form a cancer in that locker room. And once you have that cancer in that locker room, it's really hard to get rid of that and to keep building a good culture if you have that cancer in that locker room. So I want to make sure everyone's you know fit to be in here. And again, Praveen like did it. He joined, and it was actually during my wedding, and I have a lot of things going on. So unfortunately, like when he joined, it was tough getting him going. But also, I wanted to hop on a Zoom with him right away to like figure out if that's somebody that I would want in. And I can speak higher for him. He's been awesome. He's been coming to the Zooms every morning. He participates. He's been going through the course. Looking forward to that second Zoom. We have the language barrier, but like we're gonna make this work. I have full confidence. But yeah, Sammy, like I said, I appreciate you sending him my way. We'll definitely take care of him and make sure that he gets back on that beaten path of greatness.
Yeah, yeah.
Where's he from?
He's from the US. I think he's from Florida.
From Florida. Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
I don't exactly know where, but yeah, it's Florida.
How long has he been
I
trading?
went
Um, 2 years, 2.5 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was in Paul.
What's up?
He was in Paul's group.
Oh, was he? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
his nickname is Bear or something.
Yeah, Bad Almeida. Yeah,
Yeah, I is he in Sharma's group?
yeah.
Okay, I think
We have
I
an issue with
what?
Sharma. Like he was talking to people. He goes, Sharma doesn't give him enough time
With what?
mentoring.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, Sharma's got a lot going on too.
And I said Stephanos is different. You know, every group's different. Stephanos, even if you like, he'll check up on you every week. Like I said, he's not gonna baby you, but he'll make sure you're on that path. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that. That's exactly what I'm going for. I'm not like I
And
hate having to baby somebody. Like if I get a baby, like you don't belong in here, right? It's the people that like are on that path of like trying to be great, trying to be the best they possibly can be. And once you're on that, once you have that conscious effort to get to that point, that's where I can help you. But if it's like somebody that's typically average, thinks average, not their average. I don't want to call anybody average, but like they think with that average mindset, those are a lot harder to convert. I like converting those people. It just takes a lot more of my time, and it takes time away from the people that are still trying and like consciously trying to better themselves. and get better in the markets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, as long as he's like that, then that's what I'm looking for. And a good person, you know?
Yeah. Don't give like I said to him that he's always available for Zooms whenever you need one. Whenever you need a call, he's always available. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But don't give him a reason to think that you're not interested or you're not putting in enough work. That's when he'll start to think this guy's not for real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've said this to one or two people on their first Zoom. And again, I appreciate that, Sammy. I've said this to one or two people on that Zoom, but when you first come into the course, the first thing I have you guys do is watch that course, right?
Yeah.
So that, like me telling you to watch that course is obviously so that you learn how I trade, how I think, how like you should be thinking in this life. But it's also a test to see like how quickly people get through it. I haven't really said this to anybody, but I think I said it to one or two of you on that first Zoom. But it's to see how quickly you'll get through that so that we can hop on that second Zoom and really start the mentorship where like you guys are on the same schedule every single day. We're breaking down the charts together. You're doing your AARs. You got a nightly journal. You got your trading journal that you're going through, all that stuff. It's yeah, that going through that course is like a test for you guys to see like how serious you guys actually are about yourselves.
Yeah. That's good down to be honest. It gives you inside information.
Yeah. What's it called? Sharma has a like a questionnaire too for her course. But like I don't know that I'd rather spend the time with you guys and like meet you face to face on the Zoom. But that's kind of her test. That's her form of vetting people in and out. I just think like meeting you guys face to face and actually learning who you are and trying to figure out your goals and what's actually important to you. I think that's easier of a way to do it, but at the same time, it takes more time. But I'd rather spend that time and get the right people in here. Like you guys all fit the mold of what I want. Like whether you believe yourself that you could be doing better, or you're right at the limit, you're right at like the ceiling of where you could be pushing yourself. You guys all fit the mold no matter what, because you guys all came in here. Some people slipped through the cracks a little bit, and some of those people have left. But at the same time, like you guys right now that are in the group right now, all of you guys fit that mold very well. It's just like now we just got to put the work in. Now we just got to work harder. All right. And like I said, starting with myself, I got a little checked out. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Got a little checked out during the wedding and all that stuff going on. Like so many things to worry about. Still handling the driving business, hopping on multiple Zooms with you guys. Like once it started getting closer to the wedding, it's like, I've never got married before. It's a different experience. It's very surreal. And it's, your mind is on the present moment instead of focusing on the future a little bit more. You're focused so much on the present and it takes your focus away from the future, and you got to realign yourself with your goals. And it's okay for that to happen. It's okay for you guys to get to a point where like you start to get out of line with your goals. It should only happen maybe once or twice a year, right? You should only allow yourself that period where like you get into a quick slump for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then you just realign yourself. But just know it's okay. It'll happen, but you just got to bring yourself back to reality. Check out your goals, sit there for an hour or two, and figure out what's actually important to you. Again, visualize it all.
Yeah. Good motivation.
We all have the same vision,
Yeah.
which makes it easier.
Yeah, absolutely. We all have the same mission. Everyone wants to trade full time. Everyone wants to have time freedom, which I think is the number one driver for me, is time freedom.
Yeah,
Never having
agree.
to ever answer to anybody in my entire life for the rest of my life. I'd never have to answer to anybody ever, ever. You know, when you've been working since you were 14, you learn what you like and what you don't like, right? Over the course of, 12, 14 years of working, right? And even before that, I owned like little like car detailing businesses, and I used to sell like popcorn in the Boy Scouts. Like I've always just been a entrepreneur. Used to do a little landscaping thing when I was younger too, and then I was able to get working papers and keep working. But yeah, you don't want to have to answer to anybody. I think that's a really strong way to live your life. Like
Dude, that's one of my biggest motivators, Steph, because I've been conditioned to take orders I've been in the military for 15 years. And so
Oh, wow.
it's like, the extreme of taking orders, right? Like I've had to go to sea with like an hour notice for an undisclosed amount of time. And my family had no idea when I was coming back. They're like, you got to go now. And I had no say in the matter. So like that time freedom, and then like, not having to take orders or doing what I want when I want is like the biggest thing. And it's not for me, it's for my family, right? Like that's it. Like I want the freedom for my family.
Yeah, I mean, there's that social structure. I think we all have men on here, right? We have a social structure where we need to provide, right? We have that pressure on us. We need to perform and we need to provide. That's one that's multiple aspects of being a man and what it takes to be a man in this society. And if any of you guys live in the US, Carlos does and Lewis does. And you guys are kind of in like capitalistic societies, but capitalistic societies are, what do you bring to the table? Basically kind of a society. Do you have a skill set? And if you have a skill set, the amount of value that you bring to society is how much you get paid. Right? So it's up to you whether you want to get paid or not. It's up to you whether you want to provide or not. And I mean, I bet on myself all day long. If I was a stock, I would buy my stock all day long. Right? And that's the kind of society that I want to live in, where it's not up to anybody else. It's not up to the government. It's not up to other people to provide my well-being or my family's well-being. It's up to me. And as long as you guys understand that and embrace that 100%, you guys are going to have some great lives.
Man, I just love being around that. I gotta say, like, it sucks when I can't get on these lives because the mornings that I do, like this morning, man, I get so much more motivated through my day. And like, I guess I feel better, right? Because it's just being around people who think the same way as I do, like yourself and everyone here, Sammy here, and you talk about your success and like passing your challenges and the barriers you've broke through, like got a fire under my ass right now. Like I absolutely love it.
Well, listen, it really takes two to tango, and I love having these conversations with you. To be honest, we don't always have these conversations, but like it just takes one little thing to spark it. And that's what I love. Like, that's my idea of these live sessions, is to obviously catch trades together like we've been doing, but also like to have these conversations to start your days in the right aspect. Maybe we could come to these with, with certain subjects that we want to go over every single day. But like it just know that it helps me when you guys are asking me questions, because that's where I feel like I perform best as far as helping you guys, where you guys have questions for me and I'm just like rattling off answers for you so that you can write them down and learn from my past or from what I've learned in the past. And I'm just reading the chat here. Awesome. But yeah, like it really helps when you guys come to the charts with charts, right? Let's go over some of your previous trades. Let's go over charts. If we have consolidating markets, let's not waste time just dilly-dallying. Let's get the most out of this and either talk about a psychology question, talk about something that any of you guys are going through in your personal lives, look through charts, look through trades, AARs, right? All that stuff. It'll help you, it'll help me, it'll help everyone. And that's what that's how we constantly strive to be the greatest group in the industry, where you have these conversations every single day and people are just growing on a daily basis towards their goals while making money at the same fucking time. Not to mention, like, the whole
That's it.
idea of why we're on here in the first place, you know?
Yeah, I love it, man. Love it.
Appreciate it, man. So what's everyone's like, Lewis, what's your weekly goal that you're gonna hit in the markets this week? I'm not starting for a particular reason. It's just going down the video display here.
What was the question? The what?
What's your weekly goal to hit in the market this week?
7%.
7%.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Yep, that's what we were talking about today. Now, again, I don't know if I went over this with you, but make sure that it's never. Don't make, and this is just like, I think this is very subjective and it's up to the personal preference of people, but make sure you don't make that weekly goal or a monthly goal a set number. Make it a window. So make it like 7%, between 7% and 10% is what I'm aiming for. Because you don't want to get to the point where you're at Thursday or Friday and you're only at 4%, and now you got to start over risking, or you feel like you got to start over risking, or you're only at 2%, or you got to start over trading, and now you're just digging yourself a hole.
Okay.
So just the goal's got to be between 7 and 10%. I think we had another goal too, right, Lewis?
Go live for 2 weeks after smashing that, and then do a funding challenge.
Yes. What date was that?
June, I believe it was June. I have it somewhere. June, the second week of June, I believe.
June 5th.
Yeah, it's June 5th. Yeah.
June 5th. So we got to get 2 weeks in a row. And if any of you guys want to hop on, I've gone over this with a couple of you guys individually, a goal like this. But if you guys want to do the same thing, what I'm suggesting, if you guys are aiming to get funded by a company, right, and you feel like your skill is really starting to excel and you're doing a lot better, you're getting a lot more confident, and you think you can, the only thing holding you back from trading full time is working capital, then I would suggest a funding company. But what I would suggest you do first is aim for 7.5 to 10% for the next 2 weeks. So this week and next week. If you could get between 7.5 and 10% in profits in those 2 weeks together combined, right, then you can do a challenge, right? Because there's no point of doing a challenge if you're not profitable. But the thing with some of these challenges, especially the funded trader, is you get a retry if you're able to end the first phase in profit. So if you do like a $50,000 account and you end up the thing, you don't reach 55,000, but what you do reach is 52,500.
Yeah, that's the same with
what's up?
That's the same with my Forex funds.
Like, yeah, a lot of them do the same thing. So you get that retry if you end in even if it's $1, you still get a free retry, and it keeps going, it keeps looping, right? So you get multiple retries as long as you always end the first phase in that profit.
Yeah. How long did you wait until you took a challenge yourself?
What's up?
Or when did you decide that you were gonna take a challenge yourself when you first started trading?
So when I first started trading, I was kind of against it, to be honest with you. I was closed-minded to funded capital because I'd rather trade my own capital. Yeah, because I'd rather trade my own capital. Like I was closed off to the fact that I was going to be paying a company 20% of my profits. Right. And it's actually not until my original mentor, my first mentor, until he told me that what he was doing was, now, since these companies are so hot, and if you're a profitable trader, what you can do is leverage these companies into your own capital. So, the 80% that you're making, you're not blowing it on a Gucci belt or any kind of shoes or anything like that. What you're doing is
Yeah.
taking it. I know none of you guys are like that, but you're taking that and putting it into your own trading capital and building your own $100,000 account.
Yeah. And do you feel like psychologically wise, it helped you, like, you know, since you're not risking your own capital? Like, I feel like to me it helps me with that mindset. Like, okay, like if you know what I mean?
The main thing that it helped me do was get used to trading with bigger amounts of capital. Because when I was first starting out, I talk about this a lot, but my main strength was discipline in the markets. It always has been from the beginning. But my weakness, and everyone's got a weakness, was risk and like risking a certain amount of money, right? Like I didn't like, I've never been a gambler, or I wasn't a gambler when I was younger. My family isn't either. Every now and then I'll throw some money on a football game, stuff like that. But I don't like putting my hard-earned money, hard-earned capital at risk. I didn't like it.
Yeah, me neither, bro. That's I really don't. It kind of it fucks with me sometimes, and it's that's why I like this you know, like, you know, leveraging other people's money pretty much.
Yeah. I think that comes from, you know, growing up without much, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
if you grew up with, you know, I would say my family was like a middle class family. 2008 hit, and we just about lost just about everything. Like, it's not that we had that much, but like that's what changed a lot of things for like my dad's career and profession and all that stuff. And at that time, 2008, I was just going into high school. No, I was, yeah, that was summer of 2008. So I was just going into high school at that time. And forget where I was going with this. Oh yeah. So anyway, grew up with not that much after that, right? I was, you know, my family kind of struggled. So going from a family like that where money was valuable to us, right? Like, it's, you know, we actually value money. There's some people that don't value money as much, right? And I could see how it happens, because once you start making money, it's easy to devalue. It's easy to be like, $20 here, $20 there, $50, $100. All right, whatever. Like, or $1,000. Like, $1,000 used to be so much to me, right? It used to feel like such a big amount of money, and now it's like, you don't. It's not as much as you would think. It's all perspective.
They're so true, because like when you start making X amount of money, you do devalue money a lot. Like, you think, I can spend 20 quid here, it's not gonna affect you. Then you spend 100, then you spend 1,000.
Mhm.
It's like you need something to keep you in the ground, like something else, like it could be a different business, could be a different job. I don't know, whatever work. Obviously, different things work for different people. So I think that's the best way. As long as you value money, you will keep making money.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
It also comes from the skill set, because like what we do is we literally print money, right? When you're trading, you're printing money. So when you have the skill set of knowing that you can make X amount of dollars that you just spent at a restaurant, or what you just spent on a gift for somebody, or a quick gift for yourself to pay yourself back for all the hard work that you've done, you know, you in the back of your mind, you're always like, I could just make this back, right? Because you have the skill set now that you can compound money. And also, like, you have a successful business that's doing really well. But yeah, it's all perspective. So so that's what, you know, the funding companies did for me, was help me realize how much easier it is to trade higher amounts of capital. That and Soft4fx. Soft4fx helped me get used to trading with a bigger amount of capital. And it's not like I was trading with like $100 account. Like, I started with like really a $1,000 account, and then worked my way up. But let's see. Let's go over some of these charts over here. As you guys could see, again, on the 4-hour on GJ, this is why we're reacting to this area right now, right? And again, looking at the 4-hour candles, like, it's very rare to get extremely big candles like that, or like this one right here, right? We could very well get it, But right now, like the 4 hour is going to close in 20 minutes. So right now we're creating that top wick on the 4 hour, right? Looking at the 1 hour now, 1 hour created that top wick and it's starting to reject this whole area, starting to reject that 200 area right here. So can we get a nice pullback back into these areas over here in the 1 hour, right? Where we form a healthy support and continue up. Because looking at the daily's again creating these higher lows, right? So can we continue to fill this area up here, right? With another higher low over here, healthy bullish candles, healthy wicks, everything. Can we continue this movement? But maybe we get this pullback here first and then continue up. But
That's what I'm hoping for.
yeah, me too. Again, this is that higher low now, right? Kept rejecting this area and now we're starting to push up. But we need to have that solid support before we know price is continuing up. Or maybe we even need to break 200. Looking at the 1 hour, again, let's get that pullback here. And then we could definitely at least retest this high. 30-minute. Again, rejection, 30-minute close, top wick formed, past the low of that candle. Doesn't mean we're going to take sales right now, right? Because we could be very well rejecting this area. We're now above the 200 EMA on the 30-minute, right? We haven't been like that since last week, which isn't that long ago. So again, 2 15-minute candles rejecting this area. Again, I wouldn't take sells right now. I would just wait for supports to be formed or wait for price to close above 200. And we know price is going to continue back up. Start to clear this area. But again, I could very well see, like as you can see right here. I'm not saying we're going to come back down and tap this area. But like it could happen. But we can at least get something back down to here where we then continue back up. So we'll see. 15-minute candle just closed bearish. Looks like we keep projecting this area 161,900. So we'll see what we get. Gold over here. Back up to the daily. Again, this is what I was saying. Are we going to be able to close right here? Are we going to be able to close above or below this support? That'll be the question. But nonetheless, I do believe this daily candle is going to close very strong. And the next candle could end up creating a top wick up here and then continuing back down. 4 hour is holding a pretty solid support so far right here. This previous support. This is that area I was talking about that we broke through, which was a nice trade, but this is the next area I was saying that we could end up rejecting. We'll see it on the lower time frames. But where could we be coming up to right now? I'd say somewhere in here. Got this previous support, resistance. Price could come into this area before then continuing back down. Just the 1 hour. 1 hour, we get a little fake out of this area. Price continuing up. 30-minute. It's just pushing this current 30-minute candle past the high of that candle and rejected. So are we rejecting this area? These wicks. Right? So 30-minute, maybe, let's see how it closes. But could it be continuing right back down, respecting the bearish trend? Let's see if this works from here. Yeah, see, this is the 30-minute too, so you know it's strong. Bearish trend, lower lows, lower highs. This is a new low over here. Could this be the resistance now for price to continue back down? Just be aware of this level. 15-minute. Strong bearish close. This candle's creating its top wick. are we passing the low over here and continuing down to retest these lows? Could very well happen. All right, guys.
Sounds
Yes,
good.
sir. Sounds good.
All right, boys. Guys, have a great day. Remember what we talked about today. Just stay consistent right now. Like I said, the energy in the group starts with me, and I got to be better because again, like I said, during that wedding, it felt like I checked out, like I got out of a line with my goals. So I just had to realign myself and just really get back to the meat and potatoes of what I do. So let's keep the consistency going this week. Let's have a great day tomorrow, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
All
man.
right, have a good one, guys.
All right, guys, have a great one. All right.
All
Take
right,
care,
man.
guys.
Bye.